Since the beginning of artificial intelligence, the biggest question that's been dominating the discourse is, will artificial intelligence make humans replaceable? And if this happens, then what kind of jobs will be the ones that will go first? Now, according to an expert on artificial intelligence, AI could replace nearly about 80% of all jobs that we know that exist. The researcher Ben Godzel has said that AI is not a threat, but a benefit, as people will have to find better things to do with their life than work for a living. That is, if you can afford and already have a lot of money. He's also added that pretty much every kind of work is now going to be taken up by AI. Now, Godzel was speaking to a news agency, AFP, where he detailed the developments in the field of AI. When the AI chatbot ChatGPT was asked to give a potential list of jobs which it could replace, it provided nearly about 20 jobs just off the back of its hand, which included stuff such as customer service, such as proofreaders, paralegal, copywriters, market research analysts, and also, to a very large extent, most journalists. Now, in summary, AI is proving to be the latest tool in the race for human efficiency. Now, human efficiency, which may be productive or destructive, much like the atomic power, artificial intelligence is likely to be an inflection point in human history. But the question, of course, is this: if AI takes over all the jobs, then what will humans, of course, do? Palestine, where according to reports, the Israeli army has killed about 3 leaders, it claims, of the Islamic Jihad group in airstrikes that it carried out on the Palestinian territory of Gaza. Now, according to the health ministry of the Hamas-controlled Palestinian territory, the Israeli airstrikes have resulted in more than a dozen people dead. And amidst the escalating tensions, Israel's foreign minister Eli Cohen has now cut short his India visit. And the Islamic Jihad group has scrapped a visit to Cairo. Now, Israel's foreign minister Eli Cohen, who arrived in India early this morning, decided to cut short his 3-day diplomatic visit. He'll now leave after meeting with the Indian Prime Minister. Now, Eli Cohen's trip is the 3rd high-level visit by the senior Israeli officials in less than 3 months. And Israel's Knesset Speaker and Economy Minister had also visited recently. Analysts, in fact, say that the high-level India trips are being seen as a bit of a prelude to the much-anticipated visit of Netanyahu later this year. Remember, Narendra Modi had become the first sitting Indian Prime Minister to visit the state of Israel on the 4th of July, back in 2017. Now, the Israeli army said that it targeted the 3 leaders of the Islamic Jihad group, which the Israelis consider to be a terror outfit. It claimed to have hit weapon manufacturing sites belonging to the group. Hearing out, the Islamic Jihad group has said that Israel had scorned all of the initiatives of mediators. The group has also confirmed senior officials were killed, including the secretary of the Al-Quds Brigade, military council, and also the commander of the military wing in northern Gaza. The Israeli operation has come less than a week after the Islamic Jihad had announced a truce around Gaza that was brokered with the help of Egypt. Violence, of course, surged after the death in Israeli custody of a hunger striker with ties to Islamic Jihad. Now, Israel and Gaza have fought multiple clashes, and Israel, of course, carries out raids repeatedly within the Palestinian territories. And a 3-day conflict in Gaza last August had resulted in the deaths of 49 Palestinians. A delegation from the Islamic Jihad group was due to travel to Cairo for a meeting on Thursday. The visit has now been scrapped in the face of the airstrikes, the deadly airstrikes that have been carried out by the state of Israel on the Palestinian territories. And to give us more updates in terms of what is, of course, unfolding at this moment, we're being joined in by our correspondent Jody Cohen, who is joining us live from Ra'anana. Jody, tell us what has resulted in this sudden flare-up. We're given to understand that there have been airstrikes that have been carried out by the state of Israel. And according to the Palestinians, at least about 11 people have been killed.
Hi, Mohammed. Yes, so I'm standing outside a public bomb shelter, and I spoke to the municipality workers who were clearing it out earlier, and they say that these are being cleared and opened across the center and the south of the entire country of Israel. Now, Defence Minister Gallant has held a conference call with the mayors and the leadership in the south, saying that they should be prepared for a possible prolonged conflict. I've also been speaking with community leaders in the south, and they've been saying that generally the people in the south feel reassured by the strike, even though they would be the most affected by the anticipated Islamic Jihad. One into Israel in a space of 24 hours. Israel at the time struck weapon sites in response, but many people felt that that was too soft to restore deterrence. Meanwhile, as you said, Foreign Minister Eli Cohen has decided to cut short his visits to India. He's met with External Affairs Minister Jay Shankar and signed a series of agreements expanding the strategic partnership between India and Israel further. Meanwhile, back in Israel, the opposition party heads and the president and the coalition party heads are all supporting these strikes.
Right.
The Palestinian Authority and Egypt have condemned them. Hamas said that they're unified with Islamic Jihad. And remember that the two organizations have both been prescribed organizations by several countries. It's not yet clear if Islamic Jihad will act alone or if Hamas will act with them. But we are expecting in Israel, they are expecting a response from Islamic Jihad.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Jody Cohen, for joining us and getting us all those details there on this developing story. Meanwhile, I'm told that we're also being joined in by Mr. Arson Ostrowski, who's an attorney and also a CEO of the International Legal Forum, is joining us live on this broadcast. Mr. Ostrowski, these are some pretty dramatic developments that have taken place. The Foreign Minister of Israel is now cut short his trip to India and is now back home to Israel. It was supposed to be a 3-day trip, but now he's heading back. We're going to understand as soon as he meets with the Indian Prime Minister. Tell us what's happening in Israel.
That is correct. Minister Cohen, who is in Israel, Minister Cohen, who is in India at the moment on a historic visit, is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Modi shortly. I think, understandably, is cutting his trip short immediately after that meeting, given the very tense security situation that's happening right now in the south. I think, as your correspondent Jody said just before, the situation in the south is rather tense right now, with Israeli communities getting ready for a possible retaliation. But at the moment, there is a great element and great deal of support for the government's actions, which is seen as a necessary response to Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorism.
All right, but what has prompted these airstrikes, which have been carried out by the State of Israel, in which, according to reports, at least about 11 Palestinian people have been killed overnight?
I think we have to put this in context. This operation from Israel did not arise in a vacuum. It is a direct response to the over 100 rockets fired by Islamic Jihad terrorist groups earlier in the last month. Israel, like any country, including like India, is entitled to self-defense. We have to remember that Islamic Jihad is a terrorist group. It has been designated as a terror group by the United States, Canada, EU, and others. It is an Iranian proxy, and the attacks which were carried out overnight were targeted at senior Islamic Jihad terrorists that were actively involved in the firing of the rockets, as well as those currently providing a risk of imminent attack on Israeli civilians. So there was a necessity in order to carry out these attacks.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Ostrowski, for joining us and giving us the Israeli perspective on these developments that are unfolding there.
Thank you.